Hi, I'm Mr. Dumont, and I am teaching a little makerspace class where we're going to make our own computers. We're going to use the Lanzo Raspberry Pi Basic Kit. Inside this kit, there are a number of things that students will need to make their very own first computer. And I'm going to switch cameras here. Okay, so here's your kit. Now when you open up the kit inside, you are going to find this little blue case, but I've already opened it. Inside is a micro SD card, 16 gigabytes. So you're going to need that, don't lose it. You have the actual computer itself. It's called a Raspberry Pi. In this case, it's a 3 Model B, which is pretty exciting. You've also got a case for your computer. There's your case. It's a plastic case, so that's in there as well. You're going to need later. You've got a little bag of heat sinks. Those are going to go on your computer. That help dissipate the heat. So when it's really running full tilt, it doesn't melt on you. You've got a little USB power cord adapter that goes inside this little USB power plug. So you've got power. So some things you're missing off your Raspberry Pi is there's no keyboard, there's no monitor, there's no mouse. And so we're going to use the keyboard, monitor, and mouse from our classroom. But to make that work, we require an adapter. The adapters look just like that. So that little adapter on one end has got a VGA outlet, and on the other end it's an HDMI input. So you're going to use one of these adapters to project your image onto a screen in the computer lab. But the very first thing you need to do before you get to that stage is to install software on the SD card, which is why it's already open. So when you go into Google Classroom, you're going to see this little document called Making a Kano Computer, and there'll be some instructions and a link for you to go to. This is installing or reinstalling the Kano software operating system. So OS stands for operating system. So it has you do a few steps. Step one is to download a copy of Etcher. So Etcher is a program that will put your operating system onto the SD card. So you need a program to do that first, and they advise using Etcher. So you're going to download Etcher and launch it. Step two is you're going to download a copy of the Kano OS, the latest version, from this link here. It's going to download in a zip file. So zip means it's been condensed, and I'm trying it right now to see if it works with you going directly out of the zip file, and it should be fine. Once you're done that, you're going to put your SD card, your micro SD card, into your computer to etch it. So you're going to launch your Etcher software, which looks like that right there. And I'm currently flashing my SD card. It's at 34% complete. And so I'm just monitoring how that's going. So what you're going to need to do is install your SD card into your computer in the lab. To do that, you may need an adapter. There's two adapters here in this little case. There's a large SD card adapter, and there's also a USB card adapter. Make sure your micro SD card is in all the way on either one of these items that you're using. Put that into your computer so it detects it, and then you can start uploading or flashing the program onto your SD card. And so you just follow those steps, ask questions if you need help, talk to a neighbor, and as that SD card goes through its journey, you can start getting your Kano computer ready. So we're at 41% now, and we'll take a few more minutes till it's done. Okay, so while you're getting your SD card operating system all up and ready, you can start to take a look at what you've got in the box and preparing your materials for you to launch your Raspberry Pi computer. Alright, so there it is. There's your Raspberry Pi. It is inside a bag, and it's protected. You want to make sure you take good care of it. You don't want to damage anything. It is delicate. This entire thing is a computer. So you've got your a few plugins there. So we're going to open it up here and take it out and have a little look. Let's see. Alright, so right here you have got the Ethernet attachment. You have 4 USB ports. On this side, you've got your power connector, your HDMI plug, and your audio plugs. There's 3 more things there. On this side right here, you have your slot for your SD card, and that's on the bottom of the computer chip. That's right here, or board. And yeah, you got a few other little pieces there and circuits. Let's see if we can read it. HDMI. Let's see what else it says here. All right. Broadcom. So it is a computer, and it can do quite a bit of pretty cool stuff. And so when you install the operating system on your SD card, slide your SD card in there and attach your power supply to the power cable and insert it there. There are a couple of lights that will light up right around that power socket. Red will mean that you've got power, and a green light will mean that you have an operating system that the computer can read, and so it's now launching that operating system. If there's no green light, your operating system is not working. And so that's your Raspberry Pi computer. Now, of course, we're going to install it into its case. Okay, so I've taken the case out of the box and disassembled it here so we can install our Raspberry Pi computer. So you can see that there's little holes in the corners that line up with your case. And if it's lined up properly, it'll be nice and snug. And then you can install your side attachments once again. And we'll keep it nicely protected, but still give you access when needed. This side, of course, will give you access to your HDMI and your audio plug and your power. Okay, so once you've got everything in there, snug as a rug, you should be good to go. There we go. It's all installed, and I've still got a spot where I'm going to slide the SD card in once it's completed uploading the operating system. And if I take a quick peek at how we're doing, 82%. So it doesn't take too long. In the meantime, I will get my power adapter ready. Take the lid off the Kano computer and install the heat sinks. You've got 1 and 2. They just got little adhesive backings, and they are little squares that will just fit on top of the 2 processors in your computer to help dissipate the heat. So you're just going to install them as such by removing the adhesive. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, heat sinks installed. Lid is going back on. Good. Snap, snap. Okay, good. External lid. Okay, good. And look at that. The Etcher program is done. Now it's validating. Okay, so Etcher said the flash is complete. So I'm going to take the SD card out. I'm going to slide out the micro SD card, and it's going to go into the Raspberry Pi. It only goes in one direction. So I'll make sure I do that properly. So there's the SD card now properly installed into the Kano computer. So now I'm going to install a monitor, a keyboard, and a mouse, and turn it on, plug it in. So it is important to use this adapter from HDMI, which the Raspberry Pi computer has for its visual output, to a VGA cord, which is what the monitors are in our computer lab. So I'm going to use this to connect it to a monitor. So I plugged in the Raspberry Pi to power, and right in there you see a little green light is on, and that little green light indicates that it is reading the operating system. So any minute here we should get something up on the screen that looks like a computer operating system. And I plugged in my keyboard and mouse, so that's all set, and the monitor is plugged in as well. So if the green light's on, that's a good sign. If I'm not getting anything on the screen, it could be something to do with the cord, or it could be something to do with the computer. We'll have to see, test this out here. Here it's coming.